I said to my mum one day, I said to her, like when I'm in Nigeria, I said to her, you've never asked all them times how I was working a crap job and I helped you buy land, I helped you buy a couple cars, I helped you start your catering business. And I said, you never asked. So I just dropped my app, www.ChisoLifts.com. Online personal training. You got custom meal plans, custom training plans. With the training plans, you got a video showing you how to do all your exercises. You could log in your sets, your reps, the weights you use, and literally every month I changed up your plan. In the description, you got a code BESTU20 at the moment. You can use that to get a 20% discount for life.
What are you on, saying?
No, I get it, because I think, remember, like, I'm from the opposite side, meaning that I experienced this. I got kicked out. My mum would say I didn't get kicked out. Oh, you moved out. No, you kicked me out, mum. Then you gave me an ultimatum which I couldn't stick to. I left in it. Do you know what I mean? Now, me and my mum used to beat me, and I get the frustrations why. I wouldn't say I've fully forgiven her, but I understand. Now, I'm assuming your dad was frustrated about whatever's going on in his life, because I always think that sometimes when our parents hit and beat us, it's not about the situation. It's an outlet of frustration. In the same way a man might be in a relationship, okay, and he might be angry at work and angry in life and then hit at his woman. I'm not comparing the two, so don't think I'm doing the trauma Olympics. But I hazard a guess and say sometimes our parents take out their frustrations on us as children. I agree. And I'm not going to say that's what your dad done.
No.
Go on.
I'll break up for you for a second. I agree, because, like I said before, there was nothing I was doing in my life that warranted the relationship we had. Nothing I was doing warranted the level of, you know, what seemed to me like disdain he had towards me, the frustration he had towards me. Nothing I was doing. I was just a good boy. Ask Chiz. I've never been on badness. I've just been a good you, innit?
Out of all of us.
So to me, how he felt about me wasn't warranted. So in my eyes, you're not happy with your life. There's something happening on your end, and you're taking it out on me, your only son.
Are you the eldest?
No, I've got an older sister and two.
But you're the eldest son though?
Yeah, I'm the only son.
Oldest son, okay.
Oldest son, cool. So anyway, we're scrapping now. You know what I mean? Blows are being thrown, boom. Clothes are getting ripped now. My sisters and my mum are trying to break it up, boom. They eventually break up now. My dad called the feds.
Pardon?
My dad called the feds. He said, my son beat me up, kind of thing, innit? Obviously, my mum there, sisters there, so it's all bullshit, innit? So then, when the feds came now, he was pretending that he had injuries, so he could go to the hospital, innit? I got.
What do you mean?
No, I got arrested. I went to cell for 24 hours. He went to the hospital. I think they took him to cell afterwards. Yeah, but obviously then they spoke to my sisters and my mum, and no, it's not what he's saying. They had a fight. It wasn't like my son attacked his father. They had a fight. It was mutual. It wasn't, you know what I mean? So obviously I'm in the cell for 24 hours now. I get out, cool. My dad's, I can't remember what happened to him. I know he went to hospital first because he was saying that he had injuries and whatnot. And then we didn't speak for 2 years, 2.5 years. We didn't speak at all.
But you was in the same house though?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're in the same house for 2.5 years.
I know that feeling.
Not a single, I see my dad walk past him. My mum had to talk to me on almost a weekly basis to like try to make me.
You see, John, now please, John.
Exactly. My aunties, my uncles.
Everyone's come to do mediation.
Exactly. So then maybe after a few conversations, I get to a stage where I'm comfortable saying good afternoon, good evening, good morning, but it's still he's still blanking me, innit?
Okay, to answer a yes or no question, just would you say that is there anything wrong with parents beating their children? Now, and I don't want you to go left or right.
Yeah.
Just go from your experience, okay, from what you've experienced, because everyone's different.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people will say the beatings done me good. I didn't die from the beatings; it was needed.
Yeah.
There's one first question. When a parent beats a child, I know it's very general and broad, very ambiguous question. When a parent beats a child, would you say it's out of love? If you had to pick two, out of love or out of frustration?
I think it's out of frustration. And the thing is, there's levels to beating. I believe some things that a child does warrants a beating, but what type of beating are you giving them? You know what I'm saying?
Because when you're beating somebody, this is an issue. If you're a human being as you are, and let's say you've done something wrong and I do this to you, as an adult now, this is not enough for you to stop. It's got to be enough of a physical pain that you remember it and think, I may not do this again, which is a form of violence. And I always wonder, why do we accept this violence when it comes to parents and child? They say, don't spare the rod, don't spare the child, that rubbish. But why do we accept this violence when it comes from a parent to a child? And why does this violence tend to stop when this child gets to a certain age? Because is it because the parent realizes that, if I slap this child, so are you doing this because you know you can get away with it?
You know what's mad?
Or why are parents beating their children?
Do you know what's mad? Going on that. You see, like, my mum, she stopped beating me at 6. Because I remember one time, I've got in trouble in primary school, year 1 in Nigeria. So the teacher was beating me, and as the teacher's beating me, I'm laughing and I'm antagonizing.
Yeah.
So I've come home, and my mum has tried to beat me, and I've caught the cane.
Yeah.
And I've said to her, like, back then, I said, "Rah, don't you not get it?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "The more you hit me, the angrier I get.
Yeah.
The more I'm gonna keep on."
At 6?
Yeah. I was strong and clued. I don't think you understand. I've been strong from young.
Yeah.
And I was clued up. But even in primary school, I was sneaky. Like, no, in nursery, I was sneaky.
Yeah.
You see, like in nursery, there were some kids who were snitches in my class. So I used to go to school, They used to beat your bum in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I used to go to school with 2 shorts, and in between one shorts, because we had back pockets, I used to put bare papers in there. So when they're beating, I'm just there like, to fake it, but it's not hurting me because it's cushioned. So I've told these little youths, like, they was like, "Rah, how come you never cry?" I said, "Oh, one time
Let's pad it up.
one time I'm getting beat, and one of these dummies have forgotten to do the same thing. So he's gonna tell the teacher, Chiso, where's da-da-da-da?" And the teacher's like, "Rah, that I should pull down my shorts so that I should be in pants and get beaten." And I said no. So they've made me go outside and do pick pin and all these things outside and in the sun, and for like a good hour they're changing punishments. So like now, like, they've called in my mum and said, "Rah, this one is stubborn, blah blah blah." So when I was 6 now, my mum beating me.
Well, you actually remember this?
Yeah.
Can you remember anything when you were 6?
I used to get beats all the time, bro. After that incident where I caught the cane, I remember saying to my mum that, "Rah, there's no point. If you talk to me, I behave. If you try to show dominance on me, I act up." And the reason why my uncles used to call me old boy was because they were like, "Rah, you're like an old man trapped in a young boy's body." You know, like when all the old people are all talking, they used to tell all the kids go, but a lot of times they would leave me there because they're like, leave an old boy.
But there was no democracy at 6.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but you know what it is?
There's only Putin.
Hey,
There's only Vladimir.
I used to literally, anytime I got beat, I used to wild out. I'll do shit like, I'll get beat and I'll kick something and I'll walk off. So I remember, like, for instance, one time me and my neighbours were play fighting. You see like a pipe like this. So the water pipe is there. He burst the pipe. His mum's thrown pepper in his eye and his bum. Madness.
What kind of...
Brother.
I mean, but these are the kind of things that have been normalised.
That's happened to my cousin.
No,
before.
it's not normal.
That happened to my cousin before.
That's abuse.
My cousin,
You know what my mum
slit
did?
in the bum with the pepper.
Yeah,
That's
you
abuse.
know what my mum did? My mum made me put my arms like this for like an hour.
Yeah.
And like anytime my arms went down, she would shout. Because she knew that
Yeah,
beating, she knew beating
all the old
will work.
school
But all them physical ones will get me.
So bringing it back now.
Up and down, all of that.
Okay, let's say you've got a child who is just not listening, who is arrogant, who you tell them to do something, doesn't do it. Now, I like to say that a lot of behaviour is learned. Meaning that I think a lot of the stuff that we do as children, we grow up. For instance, they say monkey do, monkey does. So if you look at Mowgli in the Jungle Book, Mowgli act like a monkey gorilla because he was hanging around them, so he started walking like this. Now, growing up, if you're in a household and let's say a child is just nonchalant, not listening, not behaving, and you've spoken to this child, you're speaking, nothing's going through. Is the next step to beat? Because I sit there and say, because I'm going to be a hypocrite now saying that there's certain levels to when you start showing frustration, and I guess sometimes we hit out of frustration. Like you've told someone, do not touch that cooker. So I was that dumb child that my mum would say, "Gabriel, do not touch the cooker." And you know me. I'll touch it, and then my hand is now burnt, and then it's what up. Now, from that burn, I'll never touch that cooker. Not because you beat me. I'm not touching that cooker because I've touched the burn and I felt it. Now, should I be getting beaten? Because I got beat for something. With my beating, there was no level to beating. So, for instance, I might leave the light on before we go out. I'm getting tumped up. I remember one time, and that's why I hate prostrating now. One time, one auntie, you know, in Nigerian culture, everyone's your auntie. So one auntie came to the house one time. And I didn't like this auntie for something. I just didn't like, you know, your spirit doesn't go with somebody. I didn't like this auntie. So one day now, the woman came in. I said, "Good evening, ma'am." She grabbed my arm. I said, "Kilo day." She goes, she said, "Are you not going to prostrate for me?" I said, this time I think I'm about 15, 16. So I'm feeling like guy.
Top guy.
I said, "What are you saying?
Hey,
You're not
guy
going
of all
to prostrate
guys.
for me?" Prostrate for who? I said, "No." I walked past. Brother, see the beer now.
Is it? Like a flogged.
Hey, these are hot. He needs a hug.
Bring it in, man. Bring it in, man.
He needs a hug.
The beating I got there. And for those who aren't what prostrating means, when you see someone in Yoruba culture, especially when you see an elder, as a guy, you're meant to basically go like this. You say hi, and then you don't get up. That's when they release you. You don't get up.
Brother, you know the first time I'm frustrated.
The basic level was just. That's this.
No.
Hey, listen.
That's full.
Hey,
that's the full one.
Hey, see when you lot get married, yeah? Traditional, yeah?
That's what we do.
Yeah, miss me out the traditional. I'm not doing it.
Now, ever since
Because Josh was waiting. Josh was waiting. I had to do that. I was vexed. That's first time and last time.
Now, did I deserve to get beaten for not prostrating to this woman?
No.
But I got beat, and there was no levels in beating. A lot of us that got beat, we've normalized beating so much. And I'm not going to talk about other cultures. So people say, oh, but why people beat too? I'm talking here of what I know.
Yeah.
In Nigerian culture especially, and I'm going to hazard a guess and say in a lot of other cultures, we've normalized traumatizing children with weapons.
My neighbour's mom used to say to them, man, choose your weapon. I remember one time, yeah. One time.
Traumatizing.
No. One time, yeah. We've all got in trouble, and she was about to beat me. Then I just said, I'll tell my mum. So she pulled them aside to choose your weapon. They had to choose either
slipper, belt,
wooden spoon, a belt, a wire, a wooden spoon. Or cane. You know what I used to tell the man them? I used to tell the man them, yeah, choose the long, thick cane. Because the reason why I used to say choose a long, thick cane, it took longer to swing through the air. So if it takes,
you kind of do a little.
No. It don't have the same impact.
Okay.
If you choose the thin one, the thin one had a whip to it.
Yeah.
So everyone used to think choose a smaller one because I'm like nah.
This guy became a connoisseur in beating you.
But I used to get beat so much in school that I knew what would cause less impact. Like literally, I knew what would. I used to get beat so much in school.
There's no grade.
They beat for anything. Like,
no grade.
You'll get flogging for something so minor. Like you'll come home late from school, 10 minutes flogging.
Yeah.
You'll take a meat from the pot, flogging. You know what I'm trying to say? You'll sag your trousers, flogging. There was the disparity between the crime and the punishment was too vast. So
if you had to pick and answer the question, if you had to pick and say, should parents be allowed to beat their children? If you had to pick a yes and a no, and when I say beating, because you're going to say what level of beating. So for instance, so let's say, because my thing is, when you're beating someone, you're trying to inflict pain. So when people say what level, even if you slap somebody, you're not slapping them just to tickle them. You're slapping them to take the mouthwash out of their mouth. And my question is that, why have we normalized beating, and what kind of trauma does it leave, even growing up? Because obviously, that fight you had with your dad, it only became a fight because you fought back. Technically, that could have just been your dad might have just punched you and then punched you again and just collecting blows.
You see, like,
because
wait, you see how
he slapped me before as an adult, like open hand.
Wait, Gabriel, you see how you're not saying that? Like, you see, like,
wait.
Go, you.
When we had the fight, I'd reached the end of my tether.
Okay.
Obviously, growing up, you're trained your program not to hit your parents.
Of course, yeah.
So in my head, as a kid, did I ever think, oh, there'll be a day where I have a fight with my dad? No. So every beating to that point, you just take it. That's what we do. We just take it. So that day when I got slapped in the face, again, it was something that it was unwarranted. Pow! Open, like the cleanest slaps, bruv. I stood there and I took it because at that point I hadn't reached the end of my.
What was it for? Sorry,
I don't remember.
Okay.
I hadn't reached the end of my tether yet. But the day we had the fight, I was done.
Yeah.
Like that was the straw that brought the camel's back that particular day. But prior to that, I never even.
You would never dream of it as your dad. Yeah.
Bruv, even the chat back, talking back. Are you mad? I won't even talk back to my dad.
Who done most of the beating in the house? Your mum or your dad?
My dad.
Okay, so was your mum mainly the mediator?
My mum was the mediator.
Or
my mum was the queen of the wooden spoon.
Oh no, knuckles on the hand.
The open hand.
Yeah.
That was my mum. My mum was not really disciplined like that. She was more verbal, whatever. But my dad was physical.
Did you
mobile phone?
Okay. Did you ever? Okay. Was there ever? I know it might have to be hard to remember, but even with futures, was there ever the time when there was something before the beating? So, for instance, with everything, there's sort of like you'd say some kind of. Was there any mediation before it got to beating? So let's say for instance, they said to Yusuf, do not make sure you don't leave any plate in the sink. So let's say for instance you forgot one time. Was it ever like, okay, you're grounded before they beat you, or was it literally beaten? Was beaten the first resort?
So remember, it wasn't always beaten. It was sometimes, the typical what you're describing the punishments. Put your hand up and face the wall. Put your hands on your ears and go up and down. But basically squatting, bruv.
That's the reason why I was proper athletic. Yeah.
because of all them punishments.
Bro, you're like this.
Yeah.
You're watching back.
I don't think you understand. Man got punished so much that I was able to dunk at 15.
Yeah.
Do you understand what that is?
But
I got punished so much I was able to dunk a basketball at 15.
To me, like,
the biggest problem is that our parents have seen their parents do it, their parents saw their parents do it, and so on and so forth, where it's passed down to the point that we've normalised picking up.
Also, it's programming. The same way we have been programmed from a kid, our parents have been programmed too. And also with my dad as well, just to give my dad a bit of solace. His dad died when he was 3.
Okay.
So my dad never had a dad. So I always...
But couldn't that be part of he, not saying,
Exactly,
I know it's an issue, but couldn't that be part of his...
That's what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
So, as I got older, I started to, draw my own conclusions to why my dad was the way he was. And I put, one of the reasons why he was the way he was because he didn't have a father.
Yeah.
My dad's dad died when he was 3. So my dad, he had brothers and he has a mum, but he never had a dad.
Yeah.
So I always attributed that to one of the reasons why he treated me the way he did. Whether good or bad, I thought, okay, cool, he didn't have a dad, maybe he doesn't know how to father a child, I'm his only son, whatever. And obviously he's going through, I think we forget that our parents are...
They've gone through a madness.
They're human beings.
Yeah, they've gone,
They're going through, their
and
kids...
you made a very vital point by saying that our parents are just human beings. Because sometimes we revere our parents and put them on this pedestal and forget they're just us.
They're just us.
There's no difference. They're just older versions of us.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest problem that I haven't fully forgiven. I understand what my mum went through.
Yeah.
I understand fully the culture change of coming from Nigeria, having a master's degree, doing everything she was doing in Nigeria to come here and start cleaning toilets, doing 3 jobs, trying to make ends meet. Then you've got a son who you're trying to tell to do something and he's not listening. And I was never a bad boy. I may have had bad friends, but I knew when it was time to go home. I was respectful. I was never rude to people. Never. So when my mum was so strict and harsh with me, I didn't understand. And that was part of the bit that made me rebel. But have I forgiven my mum completely? No. But do I understand? Yes. But I tell you what it's now caused.
That's the same for me.
Let me tell you the side effect now of my mum being so strict and me getting beat for everything. It took me a long time to stop being a liar. So for instance, I was so scared of doing something wrong that if something went wrong, instead of me just telling the truth, because I was so scared and I've been traumatized with getting in trouble, I no longer wanted to accept the things that I was doing. So something would happen and it's just a genuine mistake. And someone would say, let's say something was broken. So let's say we're in this gym right now. And let's say Chiz has gone somewhere. And let's say I accidentally maybe swung this on here and it broke. I'm just using an example. Back in the day, instead of me just to own up and say, right, Chiz, was training, and then the weight rolled into the glass. I say, I don't know what happened. And it was only
because you're scared of the consequences.
This happened even going into my adult age, where I got to the point and say, this person can't do me nothing. Why am I not telling the truth?
That's the thing.
People don't realise what happens with the beating and the trauma.
That's my point I make. Our parents don't realise the trauma they're giving us and the PTSD. I'll give you an example. So me and my dad are cool now, innit? Like when I see him, we have good. I won't say we're close, but we have a mutual respect, decent relationship, innit?
I felt your blow, you felt my blow.
And it's been years.
When I won, I came out of town.
No, I'm Jimmy.
And also, I'm a big man. My dad's
it's long fighting now. It's long years.
No, we're not getting anything physical. But my dad, he's softened throughout the years, innit? Now he's not obviously. He can't be strict. Who are you being strict on? All your kids are grown and gone. So my dad he's calm, he's funny, he jokes around a lot, cool. But I still have trauma from when I'm a kid.
Of course.
So, but when my dad calls me, I get anxiety.
Yeah, because you're thinking, what is it? Have I done something?
Anxiety.
It's bad.
Most of the time when he calls me, I don't pick up the phone. I text him back or I call him later because I have genuine anxiety.
And it's the same with my mum.
Nothing will happen. I call him and then we bless. Before I'm like, I put it down.
Yeah.
Or even going to the house.
Yeah. You was on edge.
Like,
you're in the house and you're almost on edge.
Is dad home? If he's home, I'll come later.
Yeah.
But when I see him, it's blessed. But I have genuine anxiety, bro. Because of my childhood trauma. It's real. So it's like I get it at the time. You think this is the best discipline for your kid, and it may work short term, but parents are not thinking about the long term effects. I don't think any parent thinks about how is this going to affect my kid in 20, 30 years time. They're not thinking. They're thinking, how can I stop this child from misbehaving right here, right now? Quickest way is slap.
Alright, so now we're on this. We also
which I don't agree with, by the way.
We also saw the video. It wasn't real, by the way, of where like the mum has seen a shoebox full of money and she's throwing the thing. It's not real, by the way. It's not real. It's not real. No, I've seen it. It's a promo video for the video. Like you got to remember this. in the realest way possible, the moment you are a child and you see your mum going for that box, not even getting to the balcony. Let's be real. That box is not like man telling me, oh, you can't direct your mum, brother. Like, listen, you think, wait, my mum found that shoebox. You think it's getting to that balcony? But she's getting slide tackled. That shoebox is not getting to that balcony.
What's the name? M. Bison.
She's getting slide tackled now. A lot of children get kicked out. Sometimes they get kicked out when they're young because they get pregnant. I don't understand how you can kick your daughter out for getting pregnant when that's the time she needs you the most. But that's another conversation. Even when young boys get a girl pregnant, I've seen parents kick out their child when your child needs you the most. That's another conversation. If a parent has found out that their child is drug dealing or doing fraud, should that parent kick that child out? So what we saw that day, which, even though it's not real, but let's imagine it was real, is that the right step for the mum to take?
Nope.
No,
you see, the problem is here when you get kicked out, you become more active because now you're on your own. So you're gonna go to what you know how to do best, and you're gonna go even harder.
What if that child not listening to you? So you told him, you stop doing this fraud, like stop it. Like, you know, you're seeing, because what the biggest problem with parents is that, and this is hard because a lot of parents are not making money when these situations. So the trainers you want to buy, they can't afford it. There's so much going on. So even when I was young and I was doing dodgy stuff, I used to give my mum bare peas. And because I was working in Carphone warehouse. Maybe my mum in her naivety thought maybe I was just doing plenty bonus. That's why I could just give my mum, I'll give my mum bags of money, no joke. I was giving her cash. My mum never questioned and asked, where did this thing come from? Now, in a lot of these situations, not saying all kids who drug deal are doing it to give their mum money. No, I'm not stupid. But in a situation where the mum is struggling to pay the gas, electric, rent and that, and then she can see that this child is making peas. Surely it's, I'm not condoning it, but surely it must be difficult. And our question is that, should that parent kick that child out if they're involved in criminal activity like drug dealing or fraud? So forget all the other stuff, forget stabbing, shootings and all of that. Should a parent kick out their child for drug dealing?
That shouldn't be their first point of call, no. Sit down with your child, have a conversation with them first, try to figure out the whys and, you know what I mean, figure out why they're doing it, and obviously make your stance clear. If they carry on doing it after you've made your stance clear, then maybe so. Because if you're bringing threat to my house, you're bringing weapons in my house, there's a potential of, you know, police raiding the house, or your ops, whatever it is, knowing where we live and bringing violence to the house, you're endangering me now as the parent, your sisters, your brothers, whoever. So my first point of call wouldn't be get out of my house. It will be sit down, let's talk about this. Why are you doing this? Is it because you need more money? Try and figure something out, innit? If you had that conversation with them and they carry on, then they'll probably have to leave. If I had a son who was selling drugs, I'm not gonna lie, big man, do your thing, cool, whatever. I'm playing. It's a joke.
I said, Meech, pay the mortgage, Meech.
You know what it is? Sometimes in life, you can't knock the hustle, innit? I respect the hustle, whatever. I'm joking. If I had a son who was selling drugs and he had weapons in the house, boom, boom. One, being who I am now, the man who I'm taking everything from him. That's the first thing. I'm taking it all from him. It's mine now, whatever. Two, you're bringing guns into my house. You've got, I'll be honest with you, I don't really care about the money. It's more about how you're getting it and what you're potentially doing to get this money.
You still going on holiday to Dubai with the money. Again, Dubai.
I want my son to end up in prison or dead. So we're going to have a real conversation that day, innit? Like, stop now, it's over, it's done. If you carry on doing it after I've told you to stop, then you have to go then.
So kicking out your child, kicking out your child for things like that, you would say is okay?
To a certain degree, like I said before, if you're bringing...
To kick him out into the badness, like, if you think you're a big man and you're not listening to me, you go. So we're going to stick with that video we saw where the money was being thrown off the balcony. First of all, any parent that finds out their son is drug dealing and they find money, please don't throw the money away. Because that money probably belongs to somebody else, and now you've put that son in a situation where he now owes this person 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 grand. He's now gonna have to work the debt off, and if you're not gonna let him go out and work that debt off, they're coming to your house, or you're gonna find him on the milk carton.
Speak to your kids. Try to reason with them, innit?
But okay, we're trying to be diplomatic. Is there really any going back? Let's be real. A kid that's drug dealing, the harsh reality of it is this. Is that conversation really going to make that kid stop?
Do you think if you had a son, you could convince him to stop?
I think
having the experience and knowledge that you have right now, you don't think a conversation with your son would help at all?
I think the issue is this: is that the moment it's got to that point. So, for instance, I've got a lot of mates who have also drugs.
Also remember, we're not our parents.
Yeah, no, but
so we have a better level of understanding.
Yeah, I've got a whole heap of mates who have also drugs.
Yeah.
They've all got big boys now who are like 14, 15, 16, 17. This is the age when it kind of starts.
Yeah.
I'm not in their lives to know what's going on, and only they would know. And probably if their sons were selling drugs, they probably wouldn't know anyway until they catch them.
Yeah.
I'm going to hazard a guess and say none of their kids are selling drugs. And the reason why I say that is because see representation and being a role model.
Yeah.
And all of them are doing well to a certain point.
Yeah.
And I think the motive for most of boys selling drugs is not being able to get a job.
As in, you mean
their dads are doing well.
Your friend's sons.
Yeah, their dads are doing well.
Okay.
So they're making money. So therefore, their kids are not in want or need of much.
Okay, cool. We've all got a friend. I'll say who it is off camera. Yeah. In uni, he sold drugs. But if you ask from the outside looking in,
we know.
From the outside looking in, you wouldn't think he had to. And from how he described his family to be, in my head I'm thinking, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I was shocked when I found out he did.
And that was more about.
I wasn't.
To me, that was more.
You wasn't shocked?
Nah.
You weren't shocked?
Nah.
Bro, this guy used to carry around a knife.
Yeah, but I was shocked when I found that. I was like, huh? Because you think from a I hate using the phrase two-parent household, but I like we're discussing it because sometimes we always throw shade on single mums, as in to say don't get me wrong, a male figure is 100% needed in the household, 100%, because you need the yin and the yang. You need that, and even when you look in the schooling system, when we was growing up, we fed the male teachers. We didn't feed the women teachers. Like when Mr. Something was coming, everyone kind of, you know what I mean. We need the male figure,
of course.
It's not to say that just because you've got a mum and dad, that this son's gonna come out the right way. But it may make it easier.
Make it easier.
But come to that, that's why I wasn't shocked, because remember, I grew up with my auntie and uncle, so like that's a two-parent household. My auntie and uncle raised all of us, but obviously from when we've started college and that and started making money, we had to pay rent, and obviously I was pissed because I was pissed because listen, I was pissed because imagine I'm paying rent here, and me, my cousin are sharing a room, and my older cousin had moved back to here from Nigeria. He was born here. Sent to Nigeria when he was a kid because he was naughty in school at young, but he ended up staying till he was like probably in his early 20s. So imagine now there's three of us sharing one room, a small room, but we're paying rent. But the little money I'm making from college is not, you get what I'm saying?
It's not enough.
So by the time I've left college now and we're uni, some of the man them are uni and gone down that route because couple older men from our area show men how to, you get me? So imagine one of the man, I'm not gonna say who, has literally bought like a brand new Alfa Romeo in like 06 cash. I'm like, right, I'm sitting here and I'm like, shit, how much paid them for as well? So all of us, before you know it, we've joined my man. Then that's when I've got the punto, and you get me, we've all joined my man and all that. And like the same way you saying, raw, you give your mom cash and this and that and all of that. I remember like just before my mom died, February that year. So last time I saw my mom, we were talking face to face, and I was asking her about certain things, and she was like, "Oh, why don't you blah 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 this that." And I said to her, "Oh, I make good money now, but I said, come in lumps as it used to." So I said, it's better, it flows better now. But at the time, where if you go back to like 09, 10, 11, I said to her, "Right, between those 2 years, it was coming in, boom, 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 boom." So I said, "Right, 06, I was giving her money, it was coming good at the times, then I stopped for a while, I got a job and I tried to stay far off that in it. Then I think 08, I got kicked out, I got fired from Carphone Warehouse because of something someone did. Then 09, I'd gone through like 6 months where I didn't have no money, I didn't have no job. Both my contracts got cancelled. So imagine like for 6 months I'm just in my room. I'm not doing nothing.
What year was this?
This is 08 to like 09.
Okay.
So like my daily routine was like,
He was 20.
I think I was
that would make you what?
I was 23.
No,
23,
25.
22, 23.
Oh, yeah.
So 22 going on 23, around them ages there. So like, imagine I've got no money now. So like my routine was like, I'll get up in the morning, I'll go gym, I'll do pull-ups, dips and all that. In the evening, I'll go gym again. Then I got my SIA badge around that time. So once I've got a little door job again, the little money I've got now, I just jump back in because I'm only working 2 nights in it.
Yeah.
So like my auntie starts again. Oh, you have to pay your rent. Da, 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 da. So I'm pissed. So I'm like, right, you know what? Little change. I'm gonna jump back in 1 foot on the road. So I started doing road again. Then I'm giving my mum money and that. But my aunt is saying that, raw, make sure you always give your mum money. So she's like, pay the rent, give your mum money. So after, I said to my mum one day, I said to her, raw, you know, like when I'm in Nigeria, I said to her, raw, you've never asked all them times how I was working a crap job and I helped you buy land. I help you buy a couple cars, I help you start your catering business. Like I said, you never asked. I said at that time I didn't even have a car during that period.